Om Jananim Sharadam Devim Ramakrishnam Jagadgurum Padapadme Tayo Shritva Pranamami Muhur Muhur. Taking shelter at the lotus feet of Mother Sharada Devi and the world teacher Ramakrishna, I offer my salutations again and again. Good morning. This is a very peculiar time we are going through. I never expected that one day I will be giving a talk without seeing a single audience. It reminds me of Ramakrishna Maharaj. When he used to go to give talk in Madras with all his preparation, an incarnation, I mean, a disciple of incarnation of God, but absolutely no audience. But he used to give talk as if there were lots of people, and he used to give his explanation so well and then pack up things and go back. I see this is what is happening with us also. Anyway, still I am facing the global audience. I'm very happy about it. And today we are discussing about the proximity of God, how to attain or reach this proximity. Before embarking on the subject, just a few words on the present situation. Sri Ramakrishna used to admonish his devotees to go into solitude. If asked, how long? A day? Good. Even that is better. That's okay. Even a day is good. If 3 days, good, fine. If 1 week or 2 weeks, all the more fine. So that shows how important solitude is. And nature has given us this opportunity, for good or bad. Let's make best use of this given situation so that we may accelerate our spiritual progress. With this, I come to my subject, that is proximity of God. Swami Vivekananda says the greatest help in our spiritual life is meditation. Through meditation, we try to reach the closeness, attain the closeness of God. In Sanskrit, we call this proximity as upasana. Upa plus as means sitting near our chosen deity or ideal, whatever it might be. The sitting near is done mentally. So upasana or objective meditation is a mental discipline. It is an objective meditation. People popularly call even worship as an upasana. But worship and objective meditation are two different things. When worship done without any motive produces or gives purity of mind, chitta shuddhi. But whereas meditation or the objective meditation, upasana, its purpose is concentration of mind. Through objective meditation, we try to concentrate and sharpen our mind in such an extent that we get the knowledge of or the vision of our chosen deity. In meditation, or this objective meditation, what we're dealing with, it starts with our ordinary knowledge about our chosen ideal and ends up in super sensuous knowledge. Mind it, it's not super conscious knowledge you're speaking now. Super sensuous knowledge. It starts with ordinary knowledge and ends up with this. So in understanding, in objective meditation, knowledge plays a great important role. It's an aspect of meditation. And so we need to understand the nature of knowledge and what we mean by super sensuous knowledge. There are many theories of knowledge in both Eastern and Western philosophy. We're not going to go into all those details. It's too theoretical. Even the subject what I'm going to speak today is also very theoretical. So, but it will help us a lot. It will improve the quality of meditation. That is why I'm trying to analyze this. Knowledge, but we are going to study about knowledge from the perspective of Vedanta. As such, we need to understand what knowledge means. According to Vedanta, knowledge is self-luminous. Jnanam Prakasha Sarupa. Its function is just to reveal, just as the light reveals the object, the knowledge reveals. That's the function of knowledge. In Advaita Vedanta, knowledge is divided into two. It's a two-types philosophy, Paramarthika and Vyavaharika, absolute and the relative. The absolute knowledge is contentless, pure knowledge. We are not going to deal with it. That's not our subject. The other is the relative knowledge called Vyavaharika knowledge, objective knowledge, which is a result of the subject object relationship through mind. Mind operates in it. In Upasana, or the subjective on an objective meditation, knowledge, this type of objective knowledge is involved. Now let's study about knowledge. According to Vedanta, Atman alone is conscious and mind is separate from it. And it's a product of Prakriti. As such, it is jada and unconscious. It only reflects the light of the Atman onto the object. We should remember the knowledge originates from within. This is exactly the opposite of the general view which is studied in the Western psychology or philosophy. Knowledge originates in the self. It proceeds from within to without, from inner to out. We need to remember 2 points. One is that knowledge originates from within and it proceeds from within to without. The other thing being, in every act or even in the objective knowledge, there is a revelation of self. These 2 points we need to remember. This is the knowledge that we are going to proceed with in our meditation. How do we understand this? How do we see? Say, for example, this very object which is right in front of me. How do I know that this object is in front of me? By projecting the light of the Atman on it. How does it do? Let's study the process of perception according to Advaita. Impelled by mind, the sense organs come in direct contact with the object in question. Say, I'm saying this computer is right in front of me. The organs come in contact, direct contact of this object. The mind now goes through this channel of the indriyas or the sense organs and takes the form of the object in view. The sense organs just act, they just guide the mind. That's it, nothing else. The sense organs are there only to guide the mind, and the mind takes the form of the object. This is called as vritti. You have been studying Raja Yoga and you know what vrittis are, but still, vritti is that part of the mind which is modified in the form of the object. This vritti removes the ignorance that is on the object. Everything is in the world is covered with ignorance. It removes the ignorance that is on the object, but it doesn't reveal. That can be done only through the knowledge or the light of the self. Now, when this mental process is going on, this mental change is going on, the light of the individual self, called Chidabhasa, issues forth and illuminates the object or the vritti. This is how we get the knowledge of external world. This is the perception outside the world. This we can categorize it as sense perception. What about the internal perceptions? Like the emotions and the feelings? I'm aware of it, I perceive it. And how does this happen? In the same way, vritti jnana, through the vrittis, the modifications of the mind will be placed in front of the subject and the subject illuminates. But thing is, the mind doesn't go out because it's an internal perception. It's happening within me. There's no need for the mind to go out, nor the senses function. The absence of senses and the mind doesn't go. These are the only two changes are there. The knowledge is, it's placed, the object is placed, the vritti is placed in front of the subject and it illumines. So this we categorize it as non-sensuous perception. So two of two. One is sensuous perception and another is non-sensuous. There is another type, a third type of perception, which is extraordinary, which is called as alaukika pratyaksha. Like the vision of God, goddesses, incarnation, which is conferred on a very few eligible advanced spiritual aspirants. Our upasana, or the objective meditation, deals with this type of meditation. Our purpose of meditation is to sharpen our mind, to clean it in such a way so as to become an instrument in getting us this vision, this nearness of God. This is one aspect of knowledge. There's another aspect of knowledge, which you all know very well, called samskaras. We know that every knowledge leaves an impression in the mind, called samskaras. And at later time, it sprouts into memory. Memory is the reproduction of the earlier experience in the mental field. So, knowledge can be classified into two. One, smriti, memory. The other, anubhava, experience. And again, experience can be classified into three. I've told you beforehand, it's a bit theoretical. It's too, you might feel it, but then when we understand it, it's really worth knowing. That's why, though it's a bit too analytical, I'm placing it to you. And now, as I said, perception or anubhava is divided into three. One is direct perception, called pratyaksha. Next, anumana or inference. And the third, shabda, scriptural evidence or verbal testimony. With all this, among all these three type of knowledge, only in the pratyaksha or the direct perception, the subject and the object come in contact. A relationship is established between the subject and the object. Of course, it's through mind because it is an object of meditation. Mind is always there. And this, we call it aparoksha. Please don't get confused with the aparokshanubhuti, what we read in the Advaita. No, that's a no mind business. We are not dealing with that. Here in our ordinary upasana, what we as bhaktas, followers of iti marga, and Sagun Brahmas, upasakas we are. So when we are talking about meditation, we mean this. So there is mind. So, but still, this perception is direct. Whereas in anumana, that is inference, and in the shabda, there is no direct contact between the subject and the object. Only same vritti, the vrittis are placed. How, for example, we see smoke far away. We don't see this is the classic example the scriptures say. We don't see the fire, but there is smoke. And we infer that there is fire somewhere. And we people, you are very much used to this. We don't have to even see smoke. With the very air which we breathe tells us that there is some a bushfire there. We have been going through this all this. We have seen it. The early morning when you smoke, you understand there must be, and open the news. Sure enough, you'll be seeing that there is a fire raging somewhere. So this type of knowledge is called as anumana, inference. And the other, Shabda, our teacher has told us. The scriptures have, Sri Krishna says, Ishvara Sarva Bhutana Hridesharjana Siddhishtati. The Lord says, God is in every heart. Mataji used to say, human heart. The heart of a man is the seat of God. We know it. We have heard of it. It's only an information. And this information or this indirect, it's an indirect knowledge. That is Paroksha Jnana. We are converting this indirect knowledge into direct knowledge in our meditation. And of course, there is a big need, that is, until and unless our intuitive faculty is operated or awakened, this meditation is not possible. Till then, what are we to do? Are we to sit and imagine in our meditation? No. Though, when we meditate, for example, let's take our meditation. When we meditate, we try to close our eyes and start visualizing the object of a meditation, our Ishta. And it's not even clear, not as a fraction of a second are we able to study the image of our Ishta in the mental field. And even if we are able to do it, it doesn't look real. Doesn't matter. I told you in the beginning itself that in the objective knowledge, two things I asked you to remember. Maybe I have not touched it. In the objective knowledge, I told you that the knowledge proceeds from within to without. And the second being, even in the objective knowledge, there is a revelation of the self. Maybe I might have omitted it. I'm telling you. These are the 2 points I had asked you to remember. One, the knowledge proceeds from within to out, and that even in the objective knowledge, there is a revelation of self. Our upasana, even if it doesn't, or our meditation doesn't bring us the vision of God, yet our meditation will certainly give us some benefit, at least a vague idea of our higher self. What happens is, I told you, when we see an object, how do we see? I told you, the light from within goes and strikes the object, and then we realize that it is. Itself, you might think, goodness, just to understand and see this, do we need to go through such a long process? No. This is, we are analyzing a fraction of the experience what we are having every day. This perception from our birth till the death we are having at every moment of our life. But it's become so used to, we just don't understand how it is happening. A fragment of it has been analyzed, and so it looks such a long as analysis. But then this is an ever occurring phenomenon with us, that every act of perception reveals the perceiver. Every act of cognition reveals the light behind the very act. Due to the vastness of our object, of the external world, and our attachment to it, and our identification with it is so strong that it overshadows this ever reoccurring phenomenon of self-revelation. By constant meditation and working at it in purifying the mind will become luminous and will radiate more light of the self, and it will draw our attention. Once we recognize this light, the mind will go towards the object of a meditation. This is from the point of our self-effort, I'm saying. Of course, there is a very big factor called grace of God. Just the devotees of God do believe. One practical experience I'll give you from the life of Sri Ramakrishna. We all know the memorable day when Sri Ramakrishna became Kalpataru. There were lots of devotees there, and the biographer records a few of the experience. And now here, for our purpose, let's take the experience of Ramlal Dada. Ramlal Dada was the nephew of Sri Ramakrishna. He says he used to meditate on the chosen ideal and was trying his best to do the best of his ability. And he says that when he used to try to meditate on God, he couldn't meditate on the full form. Maybe if when he meditates on the holy feet of the deity, he might not perceive the other parts of the image at all. Or when he meditates on the face of the deity, the feet is not seen. And even what he saw wasn't looking alive. And so he was struggling in his spiritual practices, whatever it is, and he was lucky enough, fortunate enough to come on that day when Sri Ramakrishna became a Kalpataru. And what Sri Ramakrishna did, it's my analysis, I do not know, was Sri Ramakrishna, by his divine touch, removed all the obstacles in their path. And that is why he says, the moment the master touched him, his chest, the object of his meditation, he could perceive it dazzling in a dazzling light. The lotus of his heart bloomed, and he says, I could perceive the image of the object of my meditation bright, and I could feel the feeling that the gracious glance of the Ishta on him. So this big, whatever was there, the obstacles, Sri Ramakrishna removed it. But as with me and you, who's going to remove? No one is going to do it. We are going to do it ourselves. So it's a long drawn process. But we needn't have to panic or worry. Oh, all life we have gone only imagining. No. If we are sincere in our approach and if we are steadfast in our practices and try to eliminate the obstacles in the form of ego, whatever the impurities are, because we are in different levels. So my obstacle, my problem may not be yours. So if individually we have to work out. And when we try our best to reduce the opaqueness of our mind, the thick rajas of the mind, when it becomes transparent, when it becomes luminous, I think we will be able to feel the presence of our object of meditation. This is the one aspect of meditation we have dealt with. Knowledge in our meditation. Do we have time? Now let's come to another aspect of meditation. That is, meditation is also an activity, but it's purely mental. We don't sit in meditation and daydream or doze off. We try to be alert. Alertness in itself is a big thing. So, intense practice of meditation will bring concentration, because intensity is what is important, not the amount of time we spent in our meditation or even in the work. When I say meditation is an activity, it's not an ordinary activity, because activity always generally is outgoing and it binds us, as we call in our scriptures, pravritti. But nivritti is a higher activity. It is of the nature of restraint and it produces knowledge. So, in meditation, we deal with this mental activity. We systematically intensify our mental activity. An intensification or intensity is a state of mind. An enormous amount of concentration and knowledge is poured out at such times. Take, for example, now, look at our frontliners, the doctors, the nurses, and the police and other people, how intensely they are working and how vigilant they are. That is awareness. So, intense meditation induces intensity, a larger awareness. We become aware of our what we are thinking, what thought, everything. Awareness is created, and concentration of mind. And unlike the ordinary activity which drains our energy, meditation induces more energy. It gives us more relaxation to the body. So meditation is characterized of intensity, largeness of awareness, concentration, and relaxation of the body and mind. So meditation is also an element of activities also involved in meditation. Now let's see from the point of emotion or devotion. Whatever might be, the meditation is for people, for we devotees. Meditation means it's an opportunity or an attempt in establishing a loving, abiding relationship with the object of our meditation, that is our Ishta. It does not matter for us whether we see our Ishta in our meditation or not, because love is essentially the extension of will. When we say two persons are in love, what do we mean? That is, their wills are united. And when this union breaks, love ceases, though they may be seeing them always. So, love is essentially the unification of wills. Swami Vivekananda says meditation is the unification of subject and object. How do we do this? In love, there is subject object relationship. The Advaita Vedanta has two types of relationships it posits. One is called as Samyoga. These scriptures were written in those days, so they had the mode of transportation was cart. So they give the example of a cart. So there is the relationship between the driver, the cart, and the bullocks. So this is called as Samyoga. And there is another type of relationship called as Akhanda. Like the water in a reservoir is, and the particles of water in it, there's a relationship between them. This is the type of relationship that we have in the Advaita Vedanta. This is individual self and the universal self. When we say this is the type of relationship it is, I'm a part, the supreme reality is it, the fullness, I'm a part of it. So this sort of relationship. Now, a loving relationship cannot be established in either of this type of relationship, because the first one, the Samyoga, is too far. Love needs a closer relationship. And then the other one is there is no subject object at all. So, as such, a relationship cannot be maintained in these two. So, the Advaita posits another type of relationship, that is Tadatmya, that is identification. Identification again is of two type. The gross, the one just like any ordinary person has towards his body. He identifies himself with the body. So, Dehatma Bhava, we say. The self is identified with the body. This is a general identification the whole of humanity has. This doesn't, this is not the type of identification which we have in our meditation. The our meditation involves tadatmya of a higher nature. How? We know that we are the individual self, and the object of meditation which we are doing is the supreme self, Paramatman. We are the Jivatmans. We are trying to meditate on that supreme God. But at the same time, and through this relationship, we try to, because when we meditate, we just cannot meditate on a picture. There should be some relationship. I need to feel that I am related to this. I have that intimacy is slowly cultivated. It's meditation one day, overnight, we can't do it. This type of relationship, this type of upasana cannot be practiced easily. There is a gradation. Last year we studied about this. We studied how prayer has its function in our meditation, in our spiritual life, how worship deals with that relationship. So it in our upasana starts with prayer. It begins with prayer, it grows with worship, and then it matures into meditation. So it is a progressive improvement in our intensification of relationship with the object of a meditation. This much for our subject. I'll be finishing it within a few minutes. So this is what I felt I should share with you. It has been a bit too theoretical, but it's good to ponder on it, and it will help us in improving the quality of our meditation, as I told you. And we appeal to all the devotees of Sri Ramakrishna Holy Mother around the globe, especially our senior devotees who are very, very important for us, because they have been perceiving the spiritual life for over the decades. And Sri Ramakrishna says, without the grace of God, one cannot perceive in an ideology for a long time. Swami Sharadananda says, in order to perceive in whatever you think is beneficial for you for a long time, there are so many obstacles. And it's only through the grace of God we overcome these obstacles, and we have been still perceiving the spiritual life with the best of our capacities. And we prove by being safe, cheerful to the younger generations that spiritual life is a really pursuit of sublime joy. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for tuning into this YouTube presentation, live presentation. We are doing all we can to keep in contact with all of you during these difficult times. We are launching ourselves more and more into an online environment. We're trying to follow our program as promoted in our calendar of events. So on Friday nights, we are having Zoom discussions, group discussions. And next Sunday, we will be presenting the Sri Rama birthday celebration talks. We are in a bit of a flux at the moment. We may be doing that via a Zoom webinar, or we might be doing it on YouTube. In any case, to keep track, we have started a weekly newsletter, care of MailChimp. And if you're not already on that list, then you can subscribe. Just email to us on admin.saradavedanta@bigpond.com. Again, admin.saradavedanta@bigpond.com, and you can be included in the weekly email we're sending out via MailChimp. And in that email, we'll be giving you details about any online presentations and discussions that are coming up. So thanks again. keep well, keep safe, keep cheerful, and be creative. Thank you. Bye.